You've tuned in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast
You realize what you've done?
with Rich Liebig
The real gangster plays his cards right.
and Michael Costanzo.
What was that you just read?
Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
Good times, noodle salad.
The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
And now, here's Rich and Mike on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Woo! Yeah! How you guys doing?
What's up, everybody?
It's time for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. We are coming to you live Wednesday night because it is a glorious night here in the city of brotherly love. There are so many things to celebrate. The Sixers, they've won their first playoff series also on the same time that there was a full capacity stadium.
Wow.
This is a momentous night for the city of brotherly love, so we wanted to wait a little bit in our debut to air this week's episode to make sure that we get the correct news that the Sixers have indeed won. They are moving on. And that also for the city of Philadelphia, we are slowly starting to return back to normal after all this coronavirus hoopla. It's a very exciting night for us here in Philadelphia. I am Rich Liebig.
And I am Michael Costanzo.
And I kind of just spoiled the headline, but whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to launch right into it. I'm so happy about this. It's just a big ball of positivity tonight.
Sure. Yeah. Exciting stuff.
Mike,
No, I mean,
come on, get pumped up.
It's always exciting when a Philadelphia team makes it to the next round of the playoffs. Should we just launch into the sports? I don't know what's happening. We're launching into sports sampler?
Well, I just want to just give, we specifically held off on recording just because, we wanted to make sure. Because, literally, the Sixers game literally just ended.
It literally just ended.
Yeah, a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just perfect that we could just record, bam, bam, get the straight news straight to you. And
Just a couple of straight shooters.
yeah, boo, 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 right off the top of the bat. I mixed baseball now in this. All right, whatever. That didn't work. Anyway, the point is, so actually, let's take it one thing at a time.
Yeah.
How do you feel first about the fact that we're back to now almost near full stadium capacity here in Philadelphia? Tonight was the first night.
Tonight was the first night. I guess we won't know until a few weeks later how everything goes, but it's exciting to see things get back to normal. We've been talking about. I thought that the day was June 12th is the day that I had.
Yeah,
in my
but they
head.
bumped it up.
They bumped it up, I guess, because the Sixers were in the playoffs and they wanted to, pack the arena. It's cool. It's
I'll tell you what.
It's really exciting that the prospect that we can start doing normal things again.
Yep. I'll tell you what. The Sixers were looking a little flat in that first half. I bet you hearing a full stadium full of Sixers fans change that mentality real fast at halftime.
Yeah.
You do not want to lose, especially a game you're supposed to win, even without Joel Embiid.
Right.
A game you're supposed to win with a full capacity Philadelphia crowd. You could not put up a dud tonight.
No.
That would have been catastrophic.
No, it was very storybook-esque. They progressed to the next round of the playoffs without their star player. With the first time that it's been full capacity crowd, full crowd. It's it has very much that storybook feel to it.
Yeah.
Now, whether the storybook feeling continues is another question because I don't think they're going to go much further, personally.
All right. Well, that'll be another topic for another day because usually we don't talk about basketball. It just has a weird timing with our podcast. But tonight it was just feel good. Between the fact that the Sixers were pretty much heavily favored to win the night and move on in the playoffs, and also that this was indeed a full capacity stadium. Just another sign of things returning to normalcy in this post-coronavirus world. I'm happy to see it. It's just a big ball of positivity. I wanted to make sure that it was all solid before I gave it to our fans here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. So I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah,
I feel great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Boy, Mike.
I just can't muster the same excitement for basketball. Look, these friggin' series
Great.
take forever.
Great.
There's you know
This is
be-
great.
best of
All right.
7. There's like 400 games. It's the top 12, 14. You might as well add all the teams to the playoffs at
Well,
this rate.
yeah, we
It's-
talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Look, when they make it to the conference championship, then you can let me know.
Okay.
Then I'll start paying attention. But until then, I just can't. I'm sorry. Look, big win. What was the final score? 129 to 112. 4 games to 1. They blew them out of the water in a
Without Joel Embiid.
without Joel Embiid
That's
in
important.
front of a packed home crowd. Yeah, it's a great time for Sixers fans, but it's one step in many.
Yes.
So
yes, that's true.
yeah,
But nevertheless, for right now, I think everybody in Philadelphia feel good about it.
We're on
Just
top.
a win on both fronts, both for personal rooting for the Sixers, but also on a practical note that full stadium capacity.
Yeah.
I think that's truly something to celebrate.
I think that's the big news, not us. We were supposed to win this game. We were
Yeah.
supposed to win this series. I think that the bigger win is getting in front of a packed home crowd for the first time in a year, over a year.
Yep.
So that to me is the big win. Now they just gotta keep doing it.
Yep. So there you go. That was kind of, you know what? I'm going to label this as like breaking news because this was like the, really to start off the
It
show.
literally just happened.
And this is why we delayed starting the show tonight. So I'm going to label this as breaking news. So that's why we're not officially in Sports Sampler yet.
Okay.
So let's go back to what the regular flow of the show would be.
Right. Rewind.
Yeah, it would be personal bits. Other than the Sixers tonight, and we got excited about it. You even had popcorn.
I had
got
popcorn.
a
Oh,
bag
is
of
that still in the
popcorn?
shot? Yeah.
Yeah, look at you creating a mess over there. You got popcorn. You said you're not a Sixers fan. You got popcorn. You got a drink. You're ready to
Popcorn
go.
and a drink. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it in the shot for the video people.
There you go.
This is not product placement.
Yeah, we're not getting paid by them.
No.
No. If you do want to send us stuff,
If lesser evil popcorn wants to sponsor us, I'd
any
be
other
all-
popcorn.
or any other, I love popcorn,
know.
just popcorn in general,
or any product for that matter,
any product,
you know,
anything. Just
we are
any-
open to.
We're always open to. We'll shill.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah,
We have no shame.
Right. Look, the Crispy Noodle headquarters is literally in a kitchen. So,
Yeah.
if you want to send us food products.
We've been self-funding this thing for 8 years. Come on, throw us a bone here.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So
but
anyway, other
speaking
than
of,
shilling.
speaking of popcorn, I got a delivery of 25 bags of popcorn.
Great.
There may or may not be a video.
25 bags.
25 bags of popcorn.
Are you expecting
tiny bags?
Are you expecting a shortage of popcorn anytime soon?
Yes. No.
The movie theaters are opening up. Is that what this is? You're
May-
afraid there's going to
maybe.
be no popcorn at the movie theater?
There's going to be a run on popcorn. No. What it is, my girlfriend and I, we go through a lot of popcorn. We like popcorn. It's one of our favorite snacks. So
And you thought I need to order this in batch quantities.
So my thinking was, hear me out, and I'm sure everyone will agree with me. My thinking was, we go through a lot of popcorn. It's something we regularly buy at the grocery store. So I thought, instead of buying it every week, why don't I have an Amazon subscription to get popcorn delivered, right? So I placed the order for 25 of the small bags of popcorn, but I guess I didn't really fully understand or visualize how much 25 bags of popcorn is. So now I just have a bag of small bags of popcorn. I don't know what I'm going to do with all them.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, I that sounds like a dumb idea. I hate to say it. I mean, do you really eat like a bag of popcorn a day?
No. It's a month. I'm eating popcorn right now. It's going to last a month.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good for talking on the podcast.
No, I realize that.
Popcorn makes me thirsty. I can't. There would
You
be
want some?
no. I can't do it. I would literally start choking and not be able to finish the first part of the show.
Yeah, I'm realizing that now.
Yeah, so you might want to take a swig of that water.
So other than popcorn,
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Yeah, so you
not
might
one
wanna
of my
think about
better ideas. Other than popcorn, I started Mass Effect 2
it. Oh, very good.
with the girlfriend.
Progressing.
Progressing nicely. Recruited a few, got Miranda and Jacob and Zaid.
Mhm.
And she goes, I don't like this crew as much as the first one. I'm like, all right, hold on.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Yeah, there's a big crow in Mass Effect 2.
There's a big crew in Mass Effect 2, so we'll see. But things have been progressing nicely there. Got my popcorn, got my Mass Effect. That's really all that's going on on my end. Rich, what's going on with you?
I finally started Mayor of Easttown.
Ooh, nice.
So I know I know the season finale was just this past weekend. I'm sorry, I'm behind. But it's a very serious drama. So it's one of those you got to be in the right frame set. And they're an hour-long episodes on HBO,
Right.
so there's no commercial break. When it says an hour, it's literally an hour. So you got to be in the right frame of mind, the right time and place to watch it. But I'm halfway through, so I'm really liking the show. I'll tell you what though, the whole Delaware County accent thing, I don't get it.
What do you mean?
I don't get it. They do this whole thing. Specifically, the thing I notice is they really exaggerate the O's.
Hoagie.
Yeah. Like,
yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. Everybody's like, "Oh, the Philly accent, the Delco accent." I'm like, "Oh, what accent are you talking about?"
There's a little bit of a strain on the O's, but there isn't that much on most Delaware County people or Philadelphia people. At least I don't think so. At least I don't hear it.
The only thing that I know of about this area and accents is water.
Well,
That all of our
that
water
one's-
has wood in it.
that one's common. But
I've never. That's the only one. People are like, "Oh, the Philly accent." I'm like, "What accent?"
Yeah, but on this show they really have cranked up the O's on this show. Like really, I really noticed it with the O's. It's like, we want to give you hope, and like, what? We don't say that. Like,
I don't know.
Hope, hoagie. That was another one.
So after I heard that, I started saying hoagie in my mind.
Road.
Hoagie.
Like, I don't. At least maybe not to my ear. I don't think we do it.
Wait, hold on. Let's just have a pause. Ready? Hoagie.
Hoagie.
I don't hear it.
I mean, I don't know. Now we're somewhat.
Now it
cognizant
sounds
of it.
weird.
So I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure the O is not stressed that much when we talk in our normal dialect.
I mean, I've been living
Maybe
in
a little bit, but it's not
No.
over the top.
No,
where
I've been
it's
living. No, I mean,
hope, hoagie.
now
like,
we're both Montco guys.
So maybe it's just county.
But I don't know. I've been living in this area my whole life. I don't know. Maybe it's just because maybe we've grown accustomed to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's as stressed as Kate Winslet and their
Now I
characters
don't want to watch it anymore.
make it out to be. I mean, it's still a good show.
I'm kidding.
It's still a good show, but I don't know. I don't know why it's over the top with the O's. I'll tell you what, though. It is funny in the show. They do so much name dropping.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
They really got to sell that it's from this area.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, we're going to Wawa, and they stare
yeah.
at the camera.
Oh, yeah. Every coffee in this show is a Wawa. They
Really?
made sure of that.
Wow.
And I remember there's like a scene where they're talking about drug clinics or something, and they're like, we're searching every drug clinic from Camden to Wilmington. And I'm like, wow, you picked the two top drug cities there. And like there was just constant. It's
Just dropping
she's from Chester County. Like it's funny. It's like they always get like these like.
You're right. If something were set,
Or the hospital. The hospital is always referred to as Ridley in Delco.
really?
Yeah, because there's Ridley Hospital in Delaware County.
No, I was just gonna say.
So
like,
whenever somebody gets like hurt, they're like, send them to Ridley.
is it only weird to you because we don't have much entertainment set in this area?
Yeah.
Like maybe we're used to hearing, oh, they're from the Bronx, they're from Brooklyn, whereas people
or L.A.
or LA, or I guess, and people who live in those areas, like, why do they keep on gotta like being super specific? Because those are counties or parts of cities,
Yeah. I
Maybe
don't know.
maybe it's the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's that. Also, another thing. I know we like to pride ourselves as being underdogs and going against the grain.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I
Is it too
seriously,
much?
yeah. Every Philadelphia product, it's not polished. We just never can have like a nice polished show in Philadelphia.
Wait. What do you mean? It's not.
Think
polished?
about it. Rocky, this show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, you mean it's never
always like something's wrong. Like the city is never like
we're trash people from a trash city.
apparently we are, according to
Yeah, but it's
Hollywood.
our trash city.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's our trash.
So step off, Hollywood.
Let
Don't.
us be. Stop making fun of us.
That's what I always hear. Trash people from a trash city.
No, at some point there needs to be a movie that comes out that shows, I don't know,
Philly
like
and a good, but it's not.
Center City or
But it's not,
South
Rich.
Philly.
But it's not, Rich.
Come on, there's nice
Oh,
parts.
come on.
Some nice. Just don't go to North Philly. As someone who,
some nice.
Sorry, as someone who went to LaSalle, don't go to North. Just don't shoot in North Philadelphia.
Maybe they should.
Go Center City and South Philly. Do that. That's nice.
Why are you glamorizing South Philly?
South Philly, there's some nice spots.
I guess.
South Street's. There's some good parts of South Street. Anyway, okay, I'm losing it. All right. Anyway,
Rich, I love the hometown pride, but we know.
Why are you killing my pride? All right,
I'm not killing your pride. I'm not.
Sixers, you're muting it. Now this. Come on, man. Help me out here.
No, you're right. You're right. There should be better. I've always said that Philadelphia should be the setting for more places. Philadelphia is, maybe not the most glamorous of cities, but in terms of history and in terms of how long it's been around, and it was, it's the Keystone State. Pennsylvania's the Keystone State. It's an important place. There should be more stories, movies, TV shows, video games, books, whatever it may be. There should be more entertainment set in this area.
Yeah. So and
LA and New York get focused way too much.
Yeah, and like a nicer
in a nicer light.
Not
don't make it about the trash.
Yeah.
I feel like
don't make it about that Delco trash.
No, what I'm trying to say is you're right. Rocky is like this rough around the edges, scrapper.
Yeah, like that's
he's sort of like ooh, big dumb.
Yeah,
doofy.
That's what I'm getting at. Is like when you think of the Philadelphia entertainment or movies, yeah, it's always like a
not the movie Philadelphia though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
But you're right. Few and far between.
You don't get like a nice like.
I think your problem is
New York, like New York. Oh, they get like a nice gleaming
New York. York.
They get a nice gleaming sunset or sunrise. The sun just gently touches the One World Trade or something really nicely, and the water's nice and calm. Like why can't we have a shot like that for Philadelphia in one of these movies?
Because our skyline is the Comcast towers.
Damn it, Comcast.
They're just look. So. No, I agree, though. There are iconic landmarks. It's filled with history. It's an important region. And I think the problem is that because New York and LA are featured so heavily that, they have the grime, but they also have the glitz. Philadelphia, because it's featured so infrequently, it's just the grime. There's none of the glitz. And I'm not saying that Philadelphia is a glitzy city. It's not. We are a blue-collar, working-class, rough-and-tumble, trash city for trash people. But there are parts about it that can be accentuated that are nice, that there are things to take pride in. And I think that's what you're hitting at.
Yeah.
We have arts, we have culture, we have...
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we have
so
a long and storied history. Focus on that, not so much the more negative aspects. We already know the negative aspects. They don't need to remind us in the few TV shows and movies that come out about this region.
We hear it every time sports, every time for sports. So
that transition is fantastic, Rich.
That is.
Speaking of sports,
let's actually launch into the dedicated portion of the show to talk about sports. So officially time for the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life. Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Okay, so there you go. We covered the Sixers. They're out now. So they're going to be moving on to the next round. Congratulations to them. So now let's move on to what we had regularly planned for this sports sampler. I think let's do 2-minute drill. We're going to hit a couple topics in 2 minutes or less. Does that sound good?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's start the clock here. 2 minutes, go. What do you have, Mike?
All right, this week in the 2-minute drill, it's all about the NFL's post-June 1st trades. There were none.
No.
That's right. We talked all last week about how this episode was going to be crazy. We're going to delay it until Wednesday to wait for all the big trades to happen. And we waited and we waited and we waited all day. I just checked my newsfeed. Nothing. Julio Jones, nothing. Zach Ertz, nothing. Aaron Rodgers, nothing. Deshaun Watson, nothing. All the big trades that we were following, nothing happened. Rich, are you disappointed? What can we expect in the days coming? I mean, is this just because... it's still just the first day after the trade, the June 1st designation.
I was hoping for at least one of these dominoes to fall, but it makes sense. You don't have to be in a rush to trade them right at June 2nd.
That's right.
Especially for a case like Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that's just going to be a standoff at this point, especially with the report coming out that the Packers are willing to, quote, call his bluff
He's under contract.
So,
I mean,
if that's the case, this is going to last all summer long with Aaron Rodgers.
The long and the short of it is Aaron Rodgers is under contract. If he doesn't want to show up, that's to his detriment. The Green Bay Packers can sit as long as they want. I think they should trade him while the value's high. But alternatively, you could try and squeeze one more year out of him with Devontae Adams and then trade him next year.
Yeah.
Because he's still under contract next year. I mean, this is, you have to look at it one of two ways. One, you can start the rebuild and get a king's ransom. Or two, you can try and squeeze one more year and start the rebuild next year.
I would just think if you're going to go the latter route, you would want to have Rodgers, on your side, not doing this weird holdout stuff.
Yeah, and that's the downside.
And the Packers outright saying they're calling his bluff. So it prepared for this to last the entire summer.
Yeah.
Because this ain't going away then.
Nope, not at all.
But people like Julio and Zach Ertz, I think they're going to be moving soon. There you go. Buzzer went off. 2 minutes done. There you go. Actually, another reason to celebrate, I think, for our next topic here. Another reason to celebrate.
Oh, yeah.
We are resurrecting a old forgotten segment. We literally have not done this segment in probably a year and a half.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's fun, though.
Yep.
Fan favorite, one of our favorites.
Yep. Let's play the game. Oh, not 2 minute drill again. We're going to play the game Fluke or Nah.
Old Open Specials, John Bruno DeCenzo presents Fluke or Nah!
Yes, we are bringing this back from the dead. Fluke or Nah. This was an idea that was given to us by our long-lost associate producer, John Bruno Costanzo.
Where did he go?
Yeah,
no.
I know
where he is.
No. Hi, Bruno. How you doing? So basically, we got a topic here, and we're going to tell you our opinion in the term of whether or not we think it is a fluke or nah. This was on purpose.
Yeah.
Fluke or Nah.
Fluke or Nah.
That's the title of this segment.
And the topic of this week's Fluke or Nah segment is it King James or is it LeBum?
Yes.
There's been a little bit of a kerfuffle with LeBron James catching some flack for leaving the game for his recent playoff game for the locker room with no apparent injury. Team down by 30 with about 4 minutes. 5 minutes 40 seconds to play in the fourth.
It's closer to 6 if you want to round up.
Closer to 6, yeah. Sorry, close to 6 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. A lot of people are calling him LeBum. Rich, I think I know where you're going to fall on this, but I got to ask anyway for the sake of the segment. Fluke or Nah? Is it King James or LeBum?
I am going with Nah on this, and I'm going so far as to say he is a bitch.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
That's me, actually. I do not know flowers.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, that was a bitch move. So
care to elaborate?
You want me to? Okay.
Yeah.
So, look, you're supposed to be the team leader, especially at this point in this series where Anthony Davis is hurt, his other star tag team guy on the Lakers. He's hurt in this game. So he is solely leading this team in a crucial Game 5 in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Series tied at 2 apiece. And they go down by 30 with nearly 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Sure, it's not a good situation. Sure, you don't want to get hurt on a meaningless 6 minutes left in the game. I understand all that. And if he had just done that and just stayed on the bench, okay, absolutely fine. Or if maybe he was worried he had an injury or something. Okay, I can see that. But the fact that the game was still going on, there was 6 minutes left, he left his team that was still actively playing the game, and without any sort of injury notes or anything like this, that he just had enough of this, he couldn't watch, the rest of his teammates play out on the court. That's a bitch move. And I am so glad that the Twitter universe called him out on it. The hashtag LeBum went viral or trending on Twitter within the span of the next 24 hours. It's a bitch move. That's not right. That's not something a team leader does. And I know you like to be the devil's advocate on me when it comes to LeBron James, and you think maybe I hate him a little too much. But it's stuff like this that just piles up, and I cannot get over the fact that that people think he's on the same level as Michael Jordan. I cannot imagine Michael Jordan leaving his team, whether or not it was 30 points behind or 30 points ahead.
Didn't he literally switch sports at one point?
Yes, but not in the middle of an actual game.
I'm kidding. I'm
That's
kidding.
not-
I'm kidding.
That's not
I'm
the
I'm
same
kidding.
thing.
I'm just pushing the buttons.
So I don't know. I can't believe people want to put him on the same level as Michael Jordan. He's not. He's a good player. He'll probably go down as the best player of this decade. But it's stuff like this that I just don't see greatness in him. He's not worthy of that elite level of NBA history.
Well, to put it simply, I actually agree with you on this one. I think it's not that. I think this is a bitch move, as you put it. I think that the conversation about whether or not he's as good as Jordan is separate from this, and that's a conversation we've tread many times before.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about in this particular case, I absolutely agree. It is egregious. Whether or not the game is within reach, you sit with your team. And I think, everybody that's listening to this podcast knows that I generally fall on the side of LeBron because I think that he will go down as one of the greatest to play the game. I think he will sit in that same pantheon as those other greats. But stuff like this definitely does mar his image a little bit, right? Because it's one thing to be a great, but being great on an island and like really being the purest definition of a diva.
Yeah.
Of running away from the game when it doesn't go in your direction. That is.
Yeah. So one of the popular tweets was LeBron literally was the Xbox version, or was the real life version of the Xbox player has left the game meme.
Yeah, he literally just left the game, and that, I don't know. Maybe he was concerned about an injury. I don't know. There's been no injury.
No injury
There's been no
report
injury
came
reports
out.
as the time of this recording.
No injury report came out. So that's not it.
So I know sometimes, at least, with my knowledge, football players will leave to get an IV or something if they're feeling particularly dehydrated. I don't know if that's the case. Regardless, you can sit for 5 minutes on the bench with your team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely understand sitting out if the game's out of reach, which I think it was 30 points with 5.5 minutes. That's out of reach. But don't flee.
Yeah. You can't leave your team.
It's like fleeing, right?
Yeah.
So, in this particular case, I agree. I think it's 110% LeBum here. It really is just it's just poor sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And it really reflects poorly on him. And he's really gotta cut that out. He's become less and less of a team player as he's progressed further into his career. Because I think he's really, now I'm going to get all psychoanalytical here, because I think he's really gotten the narrative of that victimhood and that martyr complex where he's like, I had to do it all on my own in Cleveland and nobody wanted to help me, and I was always the best player. And I think that's sort of like fed into this whole thing where now if things start going south, he just leaves.
Mm-hmm. The last couple of months have not looked good for him. Between the fact that he did not send in his coronavirus status. All the players are supposed to send in whether or not they either got the vaccine or that they were tested multiple times to be free of coronavirus.
Right.
There was a report that at the start of the playoffs, he was not.
It's very self-centered behavior.
Yeah.
Sports figures tend to be diva-ish. I'm sure. I don't know. I didn't follow his career very closely. I'm sure Jordan had moments of diva-ishness,
but it never affected it never got to a point where it affected the team.
I mean,
at the end
I
of
don't
the
know.
day,
I didn't follow him, so I'll take your word on it.
At the end of the day, when he got on the court, he was playing and he was supporting his teammates.
Right.
And he was ride or die for the Chicago Bulls.
Right.
That's to me. That's not to sound like completely ends justify the means, but if you win, I can't really fault you, right? He won. Won
how much
titles.
I mean, how much adversity did he face?
He had some challenges. Houston Rockets. He had the Utah Jazz that one year. John Stockton.
No.
Karl Malone.
I mean, had he ever been in a situation where his team wasn't, considered the top team, or when
they first started out.
Okay.
Yeah, when they first started out, before they were able to get Scottie Pippen and some other key players. Yeah,
I'm just thinking of in my view,
probably
Jordan was probably on top most of the time.
The thing I think maybe you could take a dig at with Jordan is the whole gambling thing, that he was a compulsive gambler, because they said that sometimes that interfered with his salary and how he would spend his money and stuff like that. But to me, it still never got to a point where it affected his game. When it was game time,
yeah,
he delivered. And I think as long as you're doing that, I think you're anything else is kind of off the court.
I guess what I'm saying is I wonder if he ever saw himself in situations like LeBron has faced himself in, because LeBron's played on some pretty bad teams. He's had some seasons where he was the only guy
in Cleveland. Yeah.
So I think that, we have to take into account context. Jordan was always on top, always on one of the best teams, for the most part. Never really, down in situations like this, I assume. So not to give LeBron James a pass, but important to keep it in context a little bit when we talk about diva behavior. Maybe Jordan would have been more of a diva if he felt like his team was wronging him, or if he had been behind and felt like, God, nothing I do is going to help this situation. So I think context matters. However, regardless of whether you feel that way, you stick with the team.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Context is important, and maybe it would have been different, but we can't argue would-haves or could-haves or should-haves. We're arguing about what actually happened on the court, and what actually happened is LeBron left.
Yeah.
When he should have stayed.
Yeah, pure and simple. And I mean, how would you feel if you were another member of the LA Lakers?
If I were one of his team members, I'd be pissed. I'd be like,
my time on the court doesn't matter?
Right. If I were out there playing and giving it my all, and I see the team leader just leave, well, I'm going to stop giving it my all.
Yeah.
And maybe next game, you try to be professional, but maybe in the back of your mind, you're like, man, that really pissed me off that you left last game.
Yep, exactly.
Maybe I don't take that, open pass. Maybe maybe you're not in sync. I mean, things affect. People like to think of these athletes as machines, but they're still humans.
Mm-hmm.
So LeBron was being affected by a human moment, but now that human moment is going to affect his teammates.
Yeah.
We have to. He has to think about those consequences.
Yeah. So I
got very deep.
No, and it's fair. I think it's completely fair. That's not what you want to see out of a leader. If he's your team leader, you can't have him running to the locker room with 5 minutes left without a valid reason.
Yeah.
I mean, how about just be smart and make up something? How about that?
Just say like, I don't know, I stubbed my toe, or like I tweaked something.
Something, yeah. Not just make it about face and just leave and not give any reasoning as to why you couldn't be there with your team.
Yeah.
How would you like that if Tom Brady, left?
If anybody left,
any quarterback.
Yeah.
The coach would fire him the next day. How dare you?
Yeah.
So I'm very disappointed, and to me it's another knock against LeBron. I still don't think he's all that to begin with. So
you just irrationally hate LeBron. Just admit it. You have before.
I think there's valid criticisms.
There are valid criticisms, but you go out of your way to. He texts
just
me
a little bit.
He texts me all the time. You'll never believe what LeBron did this time. And I'm like, man.
I just think it's getting more difficult to defend him.
I will admit, as somebody who has defended LeBron in the past, it does get difficult when he does stuff like this. As a McNabb fan as well, going back to football, I was a big McNabb supporter, but it got harder and harder the later it got in his career when he started doing more and more dumb BS. And you're like, man, just stop acting like a fool, and you'll go down as one of the greats.
Right, and they can't stop themselves sometimes.
I think both of them will go down as greats, but man, it really sometimes you don't. I don't want to say you don't want them to be great, but at a certain point, it's like, man, I wish you were better as a human.
Yeah, better as a leader, better, as just someone with common sense.
Yeah,
someone with sense as the optics.
When I hear this stuff about LeBron, it reminds me of how I felt about Carson Wentz. When all those stories would come out in this past year when he had his big falling out. I'm like, man, just be a better person. Like don't just give up on the team.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what LeBron seems to have done, and it could be possibly at the worst possible time because
they're going to lose that. They're going to lose that series.
Yeah, they're down 3-2.
Mark my words, they're going to lose that series
with a do or die game on Thursday night. So by this time next week, the Lakers may be out of the playoffs. So that would not be a good sign for Lakers and LeBron fans out there. All right, but there you go. All the sports that we could mishmash in between the beginning of the show and our introduction and the actual part that we wanted to do. So I know I threw Mike a curveball on that. I'm sorry.
Why even bother making a rundown? No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Whoops. But we will get back into form and reorganize and hit you with the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we come back. Don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
that clip is already coming into play.
Yes, already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on?
I don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the hell?
I don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Bezos, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder. I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. We're going to talk about 22-year-old Matthew Kyle Letham. And he decided to call police at 4:45 in the morning because he couldn't find a ride home after the bar at 4:45 in the morning. But that is not the actual oddity of this story. Police encountered Matthew Letham on the scene, and that's when they noted that this dude actually has a tattoo of the state of Florida in between his two eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I have his mugshot. So here we go.
He's literally Florida Man.
Yes.
He's like a superhero Florida Man, and that is like his logo.
He is Mr. Florida Man. So
I mean, it's the most harmless Florida story we've ever had.
Yeah, except for the fact that dude has a tattoo
stupid
that will last the rest of his life that he cannot hide.
You cannot undo that. Every job interview he goes to, the very first thing they're going to see and question is the Florida tattoo. Yeah.
It's literally like, can I touch it? Like, it's right there.
You know the scene in Austin Powers Goldmember? The guy who has the mole?
Yeah.
Moly, 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 moly. Yeah. It is that, except with Florida on his forehead. Is anybody more proud of their home state than that guy? Nope.
Can't say it. I can't say it.
Nope.
I can't think of anybody else.
Nope.
So,
I love Pennsylvania, but not that much.
no, I do not want. Pennsylvania is a big state too. I do not want that on my forehead.
It's very square or
Yeah,
rectangular.
rectangle.
It would, yeah. What's
Yeah.
the weirdest state to get tattooed to a forehead? I think. What do you think would be the weirdest one? I mean, I think Florida, because the way it's shaped.
Florida's pretty weird. California,
Michigan.
would be weird because it's like
It's
a
very
ball,
long.
and then
Yeah.
it juts out.
No, Michigan.
Ooh, yeah. Because they got
Michigan.
all those like Great Lakes and stuff.
Yeah, and it's split in half.
Ugh, yeah, that would not be good.
That'd be a weird one.
Yeah. Ugh. Oklahoma.
Alaska. Oh, Oklahoma. I was gonna say Alaska.
Oklahoma, you have to get the box, and then you have to get that little dinky panhandle that goes the other half of your head.
You're literally making yourself a unibrow, and then like it has like a little hat on it.
Yeah. Ew.
What about Alaska? You have that whole chain of islands coming off the side. It's gonna like go around the side of your head almost.
Ugh. Yeah.
This is the dumbest conversation we've ever had in in 8 years of podcast. I think it's safe to say that talking about the weirdest state to tattoo to your forehead, probably the dumbest thing we've ever talked about.
It's 2021, man.
And we were like actually analyzing. You're like, oh yeah, and the islands, and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. There's something fundamentally broken with us, Rich, in 2021.
It's 2021. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's
the
that
pandemic.
simple.
The pandemic's gone on too long, Rich. We've hit a breaking point.
Yeah. All right.
Next week we're both going to show up with states tattooed to our foreheads.
Dear God. Yeah, we are back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We covered a lot of sports in the first half of the show that even invaded the normal beginning part of the show. But, it was all
sports everywhere.
It was very important. Breaking news. Go Sixers pulling off a big win, moving on to the next round of the NBA playoffs. Hopefully Joel Embiid is back in action and they make a deep playoff run. It could be an exciting time for Philly sports for the first time in a long time, I think. But, don't hold your breath either. It is Philadelphia. You never know. But nevertheless, we are going to finally move away from the sports realm. We are done the sports topics, and instead we are going to move into some movie and video game news. It's time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, so let's kick off the entertainment entree with the segment where you need to know what's coming up this weekend with any sort of new movies, new video games, anything new in the entertainment world. Mike is going to give us what you need to know in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mike, what should they keep an eye out for?
All right, this week in television, check out Sweet Tooth on Netflix. It's a new fantasy series that follows a group of animal-human hybrids seeking answers about their post-apocalyptic world. It has a 79 on Metacritic and a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 8.6. Go check out the trailers on Netflix. It looks really, really interesting. It's based on a...
So this isn't Twisted Metal?
It's, when I first saw the name, I was like, are they making a Twisted Metal show? No, it's based on a DC comic, actually.
Okay.
It's gotten pretty good reception so far, but the premise is that there is a quote-unquote great crumble that wreaked havoc on the world and led to the mysterious emergence of hybrid babies, part human, part animal. And so now these human-animal hybrids are searching for meaning and answers in this newly post-apocalyptic world.
I feel like this is a weird tie-in to your snack video game.
Bugsnax?
Bugsnax, yeah. This is a weird Bugsnax
Oh my
spin-off.
god, is this the TV version of Bugsnax?
What are you doing over there between Bugsnax and this?
I like snacks and I like animals. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It all seems to be that
like weird
niche kind of
hybridization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're definitely up in that camp.
Up in that camp?
Yeah. You guys have planted a flag on that mountain and you guys are living there. I don't know what you guys do in your spare time, but
well,
it's America.
Come join us on the mountaintop. Sweet Tooth releases on Netflix this Friday, June 4th. Definitely go check it out. In the world of video games, a new month equals new free games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold subscribers. This month, PlayStation gamers get Star Wars Squadrons, a Star Wars space combat game. It has a single-player story, but also has a unique class-based multiplayer aspect. It has a couple of 8 out of 10s, respectable scores review-wise. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you definitely want to check this one out. I know I've been dying to try it out. It's been a while since I played a classic, flight sim or space combat game. So I used to play them a lot back in the day on computer, flight sims with the little joystick,
Star Wars Squadron is a pretty good game if you've got that itch to play a flight simulator, like if you remember X-Wing or TIE Fighter. I remember playing TIE Fighter on MS-DOS.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So if that was something that you enjoyed in your childhood, I would recommend Star Wars Squadrons. But if you're not really into the whole space battles and Top Gun like battles, okay, then I can understand this game may not be
just
for
blast
you.
the Top Gun soundtrack as
You
just
could.
do barrel rolls through space.
You could. There's nothing wrong with that.
There you go. I have a feeling I know what Rich is going to get up to. But there you go. Star Wars Squadrons, the free PlayStation Plus game for PlayStation Plus subscribers. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I think you guys should as well. And that's what's happening this week in entertainment.
All right, Mike, thank you for that segment. This week in entertainment, I think we're still continuing the video game news because you found this interesting story that Netflix could be dipping their toes into the video game front.
Yeah, so there was a report, I guess, a week or two ago about Netflix potentially investigating the possibility of starting up a video game division. Netflix apparently is looking for a gaming executive, and Reuters and Axios report that Netflix is looking at some sort of gaming bundle that would be, quote, a smaller Apple Arcade that would feature a mix of licensed Netflix intellectual property and original work from independent studios. So this is really interesting, this idea that they could branch off into video games. It's no secret that Netflix has a big fascination with interactive media and with turning interactive media into television shows. They have The Witcher. They have Resident Evil shows. They have, they're working on titles for, I believe, Assassin's Creed and Cyberpunk, a whole bunch of other video game properties they're looking to turn into television shows. They've teamed up with outside studios to develop game content as well. They saw Stranger Things turn into a small mobile game. They wanted to do a Stranger Things choose your own adventure style game, sort of like the Walking Dead Telltale series. So they've definitely been dipping their toes into this arena. They also have, of course, the interactive movies like now it's gonna Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
Yep, Bandersnatch was good.
So they've definitely been dipping their toes, and I mean, it makes sense. Video games are a huge entertainment industry. I mean, one of the largest, bringing in tens of billions of dollars annually. So it makes sense that Netflix would want to get in on this, but it's very hard to stream video games.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this? Is this like fool's gold here? Is Netflix barking up the wrong tree? Should we leave video games to the game developers, or?
So it's going to depend on what their aim is, because if they're just looking to have a stake in video games, then they could just
fund video games or sell off their IPs like Stranger Things and be like, give that to a developer and be like, here, make a Stranger Things game.
Right. So if it's that simple, that should be fine. They should be successful at that. No problem. It's been done before. That's A-okay. If they actually want to try and make a, Netflix of video games, that could be a dicey road, because we saw with Google Stadia, it didn't really work out that well. It's very difficult to actually implement a streaming service of video games. It's just very demanding on your hardware, on your internet connection. It sounds like a good idea on paper, but in practicality, it's very difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
And if Google couldn't pull it off brilliantly, I don't know if Netflix can either.
Yeah, it's one thing to stream 4K video and audio, but when you have interactivity and inputs, as being a gamer, if you push a button and there's even a little bit of lag and the screen's not syncing up with what you're doing, it becomes very frustrating.
Yeah, you're not going to play that game for very long.
You're not going to play that game for very long. If your frames are lagging, or there's any sort of latency. And so when you're doing interactivity over the internet, it's really tough, because you're not sending that signal to the console. You're sending that signal to Netflix's servers, and then they gotta.
Well, you have to think about it. Not only that, it's through your internet connection to their server, back through your internet connection.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
So there's a lot of latency. You hit a button, and if your bandwidth isn't large enough, or if there's any other technical issues, all of a sudden, you're looking at a very stuttery, laggy experience. Think about all the times that YouTube has to buffer, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine,
YouTube couldn't figure that out.
Now imagine pressing a button to, shoot an enemy, and you have to, all of a sudden there's like buffering,
Buffering, circle. A new circle of death.
It is interesting though that we always, new circle of death.
It literally can kill you.
It is interesting though that we always use the term, and you use it, the Netflix of gaming. We talk about Stadia being the Netflix of gaming, PlayStation Now being the Netflix of gaming. We throw around that term a lot. Netflix is probably like, they're using the Netflix of gaming to describe other services. Maybe that's part of the impetus to be like, why doesn't Netflix just be the Netflix of gaming? Maybe they're hearing this term thrown around, and they're like, this is a thing that people want, but it has to be executed properly. That's the thing. If Netflix tries to be the Netflix of gaming and they do it poorly, that term's going to take on a very negative connotation.
Yeah. I just think it's going to... If Google couldn't pull it off, I don't see how Netflix can do better than Google. Google, literally billion-dollar corporation. And they couldn't... at least they couldn't pull it off with the current technology. Maybe like 5 or 10 years down the road, when we're operating on a new level of processing and stuff like that, and new levels of bandwidth, maybe then it might be possible. But right now, I just don't think it's possible. And if Netflix pours money into trying to figure out a service like that, I think they're going to get burned just as Google did.
Yeah.
Now, if their aim is just only to just produce video game content, that's simple, that's straightforward, that should be a win-win for everybody.
I think that Netflix has the resources to develop games and release games.
Yeah.
If they made a Stranger Things video game and released it on mobile or console, and they already sort of have done that, I could see them funding games. That could be a way to get into it. But building a gaming service is a very difficult thing. That's why we've only had the 3 major players for, basically since the mid-90s.
Yeah.
It's been Sony, Microsoft, and
any
Nintendo.
any other ones that you've heard of are usually from the Angry Video Game Nerd, and he has to review them for his show.
Yeah, and it's that's why it's always been the big three, because it's really difficult to make hardware and to do the games and do it right. What I'm seeing in these reports is that some people think that the gaming service could launch as early as 2022. So next year we could be seeing a Netflix gaming service, but nothing's been set in stone, so things could change. But Netflix has pointed to Epic Games' Fortnite as bigger competition for eyeballs than both HBO and Hulu. So they see video games as being competition, that it's pulling people away from Netflix onto other platforms, onto other services.
That also now has me worried because they specifically pointed out Fortnite. So does that mean they're looking at like battle royale type games?
They want to capture eyeballs. They want to capture eyeballs.
I feel like that's going to go off a cliff soon. By the way,
battle royale it kind of already is sort of starting to lose some of its luster.
Yeah, it's starting to get old already. It could be the next Guitar Hero. You know, it's like everybody's coming out with a battle royale.
The
game.
market is getting a little bit flooded. Yeah,
you know, I'm starting to get tired of it.
Yeah.
I was never even really a big fan to begin with of these battle royale games, and now, you know, there's so many. Player Underground battle, or was it Player
Unknown
Battleground.
Fortnite. You got all. Yeah, there's a whole.
All these.
I can't even name all of them. So I hope Netflix doesn't go that route. I would much rather see more video game based television shows.
Yeah. I mean, and that seems like
you literally just mentioned that you watched The Witcher, which to be fair isn't based on the video game. It's based on the Polish novels, but just so happens to also be a major. The video game's more popular than the novels.
Yeah,
at this
it's
rate.
all the same. Criteria.
Right.
But it wouldn't. That would be great. You know, if we
I feel like
get
Netflix is the perfect platform for. I know we're getting The Last of Us on HBO, but could you imagine like a God of War series, or any video game becoming like either a mini series or recurring series?
Why can't HBO do something with BioShock? That would be great.
Or Netflix do something with BioShock.
Yeah, Netflix could, but Netflix, I think. Sometimes they got some pretty crazy content.
Netflix has some very controversial content. I mean,
yeah.
They had 13 Reasons.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? They can pull it off. Somebody, come on.
I think Netflix.
Someone call Ken Levine up.
Here's the thing,
and do BioShock.
HBO still has to go on TV, even if it's premium cable where there's no rules. Netflix is a beast unto itself. They can do whatever they want. It's their own platform, their own content creation divisions. They're beholden to no one, because HBO is still beholden to, the parent company. I think it's Time Warner.
Yeah.
Soon
to be Discovery, remember?
Soon to be Discovery, right. But Netflix is beholden to no one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if there's an opportunity to do a controversial show, it used to be HBO, but I mean, think about a show like BioShock could absolutely thrive on a service like Netflix.
Yeah.
And do it justice. Do a BioShock miniseries, 8 episodes, 8-hour-long episodes. I mean, just the thought of it, like, it's the perfect home for it.
All right, I like the sound of that. Someone get in touch with Ken
Make it
Levine.
official, Mr. Netflix.
Mr. Netflix.
Dear Mr. Netflix.
Call Ken
Please
Levine
make
up.
BioShock.
Call Ken Levine up. Tell him you want to do BioShock.
What other games do you want to see TV series made out of, off the top of your head? I think God of War would be fantastic. I mean, the last God of War was basically just a playable, miniseries. I played it for my girlfriend. She loved it. Soma would be fantastic.
That would be another creepy one. That would be great.
I mean, Last of Us is already happening, so that's kind of like a cop
that's
out.
already taken.
What about Uncharted?
Uncharted would be fantastic.
I mean, I know they
already
they have Indiana Jones, but the movie's Uncharted. Man, see, PlayStation's already beaten me to the punch.
Yeah, but they should have done one with Nathan Fillion.
Yes, they should.
Because they made a 10-minute or 15-minute short realization of a live action Uncharted, and Nathan Fillion he filled out the role so perfectly. He should have been it.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Unfortunately, I think maybe the ship has passed on that by now. But it was great. They should have done that.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yes,
would be a great.
Oh my god,
that could be a recurring. That could be a recurring series because there's so many stories to tell in that universe.
A great story, Western setting. The end of Wild West.
Western's seen a little bit of a revival in years past, so that would.
Oh, come on, that writes itself.
Yep.
Oh.
A little bit more on the abstract side. I'd love to see a portal thing, but that's tough with a non-speaking lead character like BioShock.
Yeah.
But
no, I like that one. Red Dead Redemption. Do that one.
Yeah. There's tons of and the thing is, people, all around me, my mom, my friends, my girlfriend, they're like there should be TV shows of this stuff. There should be TV shows and movies so that non-gamers can enjoy it without having to sit through me.
Yep, and
playing the game for them.
And there's some better stories out on video games than there are in the movie theater or on TV.
Yeah.
So, and Red Dead Redemption is one of them. That would be a fantastic TV show.
So I think the plea to Netflix here is, instead of sinking the money into a streaming service for games, sink the money into content creation for what you already do really well.
Yeah.
Like, I would absolutely be all over Red Dead, BioShock, whatever franchise it might be. I would absolutely be all over that.
Yep. All right. We're going to have to leave entertainment at that because it is time for our third and final segment where you need to have some silly news to pair with your sports and entertainment news. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news!
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story, keeps it secret from me, which ensures that my reaction is my genuine gut reaction to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because this segment always takes us down wacky and wild paths, and I'm ready to dive on in. Rich, take us in.
All right.
Lead us.
All right. Well, it's been a while, but it's time to go back home. It's time for a Florida odd news story.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Who says you can't go home?
Back to Florida, where weird men roam.
Yeah. I love it. It's like, it is. It's like going home. Good old Florida. So what's happening?
Yep. And I know you love these stories. We have another case of fast food road rage.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
We're going to follow the case of 33-year-old Michael Jordan. I don't know why, but
why do you pronounce it?
But
Michael Jordan.
There is a hyphen in between the excuse me. It's M-Y, not even I. M-Y. My hyphen Kel.
How's Kel spelled?
C-H-A-E-L, so that's normal.
That's odd. Kel.
Is that how? I don't know. How else am I supposed to say this?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. That's what we'll go with. So not Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan. So we're going to follow the case of 33-year-old Michael Jordan here. So investigators allege that 33-year-old Michael Jordan got angry at a drive-thru window at a McDonald's and broke the drive-thru window and crawled through to confront the employees.
Oh my God.
Motherfucking kill you, motherfucker, old style.
You know, he actually breaks the window and climbs through the window.
Rich, I didn't know if you knew this, but there's these things that they invented many years ago called doors.
No.
No. Do they not have them in Florida?
Not when it comes to chicken McNuggets.
They haven't learned about the door yet. Oh my God, their minds are going to be blown. Yeah, so that's a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
To break a window and crawl through, like it's not like the window's like up higher, you know, because they always hand things down to you. So he's got to like break the window up here and like
he's got to
crawl
jump through
and like crawl up and
yeah,
through.
You're right. There is a little bit of a height discrepancy. You're gonna have to jump.
A lot. I mean, maybe he's got a tall car. Maybe he's got an SUV or a truck. So maybe he's like crawling across instead of up. But still seems like a lot of effort, man. You could just park and go in through the door.
Well, maybe this is why it happened at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Ah, okay. So you can't just walk in, I guess.
Yeah, maybe the door was actually locked shut, but that didn't stop him.
Man, I feel bad for these fast food workers. Like, you get somebody who pulls up at 4 in the morning, and you're like, oh, man, this is going to be bad.
Already, right off the bat.
Like, it's going to be bad. You know it's not going to be good if somebody's getting chicken nuggets at 4 a.m., right?
So he got angry around 4 in the morning following his trip in the 24-hour drive-thru at the McDonald's.
So what caused him to get so mad?
So he lives 2 miles from the restaurant.
Okay, that's an oddly specific thing to mention.
So I don't know. Maybe he's a regular there. Maybe he really cares about his McDonald's. I don't know.
Okay.
After his order was wrong, he got angry. He yelled at the employees. Then he broke the drive-thru window and crawled through the window and confronted a 53-year-old McDonald's employee. So he is
makes sense.
He is not too happy.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
I've got a mugshot of him right there. If you want to take a look, there he is. That's Michael Jordan.
Just looks like a regular grumpy dude.
Not Michael Jordan. That's Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
It's a shame. He could have been Michael Jordan, but no.
I really want to know what got him so mad that he had to break the window and
said
crawl
his
through.
order wrong. How dare you get my order wrong?
Like how wrong? Like there's degrees of wrongness.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something that was wrong in the order.
Like if they forgot like a sauce on the side, that's not break a window mad. If they gave you like a fillet of fish instead of a quarter pounder, now that's a speak to the manager moment, maybe.
Well, this is a break the window and crawl through.
How wrong would your order have to be to warrant you breaking through a window?
I don't know. You give me tofu?
Like you order McDonald's and they're like, here's tofu.
Yeah. Screw you.
Or they give you like the opposite type of cuisine. Like you go to like an Italian restaurant and they're like, here's sushi. And you're like, how did this even happen?
Yeah, sushi I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but you wanted, like, saying that is just Italian. Or all the way around. You go to order sushi and they give you spaghetti.
That's fine.
It's impossible to annoy you with food. You know, I understand, though.
You have to give me tofu.
Look, as long as it's edible.
Or something too spicy that I can't handle it. Like a habanero. You give me a habanero. No, I can't eat this. What are you doing?
Right. So that's break a window.
I will throw this back in your face.
Wow.
Yeah, come on. I cannot handle this level
You
of
take
spiciness.
one bite, you're like, this is too spicy, and you just chuck it at them.
Yeah. How dare you? No, I don't know.
How dare you? See, it would be, with me and food, it's very hard to think of a situation in which I would get break a window mad.
Well, this guy, do not get his order wrong. He's very upset.
I'm really curious about how wrong the order actually was.
So he broke the window, crawled through the drive-thru window. When he landed, he then confronted the 53-year-old McDonald's employee and pushed him around.
Oh, man.
That's when the cops arrived on the scene. 3 officers were on the scene, and they all pulled out their tasers and tased him, and they all did nothing.
The tasers did nothing?
This guy has to be on drugs or some hyped up. He is.
3 people tasered him, and it just didn't affect him at all?
That's what the arrest affidavit claims. That
Man.
they all shot their tasers at him.
He's like a superhero.
Yeah, this is a lot of strength here. He's very
That's alarming.
Very angry here. That's actual audio.
My God, Jim, the taser's just making him stronger.
The electricity is making him stronger.
It's just making him angrier.
What do we do? There you go, just like that.
That's amazing. I can just imagine the first cop tasers him. He just rips him out. And he just lets out a primal scream. The next guy tasers him. It just makes him angrier and angrier and stronger.
Just like that. Just a constant scream. And he didn't go down. So officers then tried to get in fistfights with him. All three of them suffered cuts during the struggle.
Oh, my God. This guy was, like, not going down.
No.
They got into fist fights with him?
Yeah.
What?
3-on-1.
I don't understand. When you say fist fights, it conjures a certain image that they're just squaring up. You know, like they're about to box this dude.
Well, eventually, at some point, they were able to get cuffs on him. But apparently, all three officers suffered cuts during the struggle.
Wow.
So this guy was not going down without a fight.
Man, that McDonald's order must have been really wrong.
Yeah, he is very upset.
He was like on like a different level, man.
Yeah, very upset.
You do not come between people and their food.
No.
Like the one thing that I have learned, legitimately learned through the odd news these past 8 years, is like food sets people off like no other.
Especially in like a fast food drive-thru or something. That
People
really
just lose their minds
Yeah.
when it comes to food.
Yeah,
especially fast food drive-thrus.
Yeah, we've had road rage in a drive-thru. Now this guy is breaking the window and climbing through.
I think fast food workers should get hazard pay.
At this rate, they should.
If you work in a fast food drive-thru in Florida, you should get hazard pay.
At this rate, yeah, after all the odd news we've had.
Hey, forget $15 an hour. You bump them up to like $20 an hour. Man, they're taking their lives in their hands dealing with these people.
Yeah, especially at 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning, like I said, you get somebody through the drive-thru at 4 a.m., you know you're in for a bad time.
It's not going to be a good time. So unfortunately, this Michael Jordan, he was arrested and charged with 4 felonies.
That dude's literally Superman.
Yeah.
Like 3 tasers, multiple cops fist fighting him, and he just did not. Man, that dude was. It was just pure rage.
Yep.
Fueling him.
So he has a count of burglary with assault, and then 3 counts of resisting police with violence, since it was 3 different cops.
Wow.
So it's literally 3 different charges.
I don't understand the burglary, though. He didn't burglar anyone.
I guess since it was
I guess he
right
broke,
at the drive-thru.
I guess he broke into the store.
It is like a cashier stand. You could have taken some money.
I guess, yeah.
Unfortunately, he has some past histories with violence, so unfortunately, he is locked up in lieu on a $150,000 bond.
Jeez.
So Michael Jordan is not going to be playing basketball anytime soon outside. Maybe in the prison yard, but not not outside. Not outside the prison.
He's going to be prison Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he'll be the prison Michael Jordan, but not outside the walls. So there you go. What a story, man!
I just don't think I could ever muster that type of anger over fast food.
Yeah, that's a whole.
That's an
nother
impressive amount of anger to like shrug off 3 tasers.
3 tasers, yeah.
Break a window, climb through the drive-thru,
cause some cuts.
Yeah,
he didn't go down without a fight.
Like I am so. And I know it's not going to go into specifics, but I really just want to know how wrong this order was. Like I just imagine them giving him like ranch instead of blue cheese dipping sauce, and him just like freaking out.
How dare you!
You know, because I
need my barbecue sauce.
I've had some orders messed up, you know, through my 30-some years of life, and I've never once thought I'm gonna break a window, climb in, and confront somebody.
This is hot honey sauce, not the barbecue sauce.
I mean, yeah,
that would make me upset if you didn't have barbecue sauce.
If you're expecting some tasty barbecue sauce, you're fishing through your bag. You're like, yes, I'm gonna have some barbecue sauce on chicken nugs.
I would be very upset.
Nope, it's not barbecue. It's buffalo. It's spicy. Not barbecue, but it's something spicy that you don't like.
Yep.
Oh man,
that would be.
Rich just yanks the wheel and drives it straight through the McDonald's.
Yep, there you go, and I'll be on the odd news.
There you go.
So
do not give Rich barbecue sauce.
Yeah. But there you go. That is the odd news of the week. Man, fast food employees, God bless you, because you're doing the Lord's work.
They really are.
You're taking your life in your own hands at this rate.
They're the first line of defense between society and crazy people.
Yeah, these mutants that
Just
are coming
think,
out that
there
are
must- there-
impervious to tasers.
Just think about this for a second. Think about all the crazy people they accurately serve and they're saving us from.
Yeah.
If these crazy people don't get their chicken nuggets, they turn that craziness on the rest of us. So fast food workers are the first line of defense.
Yeah. So there you go. That is the odd news of the week. And with that, we are coming up to the end of our hour, and it is getting pretty late. So unfortunately, we got to start wrapping up this episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast live on Facebook. Thank you guys for joining us. If you like what you heard or you want to see the video version of our podcast, make sure that you are a fan of our official Facebook page and that you're following us on Twitter and Instagram and all the social media hoopla.
That's right. In addition to all that hoopla, you can also subscribe to our channel on YouTube, where you can find the video version of the podcast as well as a whole bunch of other fun videos. But you can still get the audio version of the podcast as well by subscribing to the Crispy Noodle Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon devices. We're literally everywhere.
Yes, that's right.
It's impossible to overlook us. So make sure you search for, download, and subscribe to the Crispy Noodle Podcast on the podcast service of your choice.
That's right. So if you need a podcast to listen to on the go, make sure you subscribe to our podcast feed. We also have mini noodles on our SoundCloud page. So if you want a quick promo clip to make you laugh and start your day off right, go to our SoundCloud page as well.
That's right. So many ways to get in touch with and share the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you want to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. If there's any topics you want us to cover on next week's episode or an odd news story that you want us to talk about, let us know. Send it to us, and we'll take it under consideration. And we'll give you a Crispy Noodles shout-out if we do use your topic. So make sure you tweet at us and you follow us on all the social media platforms to stay in contact with us here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But for right now, we're coming up to the end of the night. We need to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I think that will do it. You got anything else, Mike?
No, that's all I got. Go Sixers.
Yeah, that's right. Sixers moving on. And can't wait to see.
I can be excited.
There you go. And can't wait to see more fans down at the South Philly Sports Complex with a higher capacity attendance. It's very good. It feels good to be a Philly sports fan.
Oh, yeah.
But for right now, that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.